Hello, this is Reverend Dore teaching the perennial philosophy that we call religious science or the teaching of the science of mind. From Sarasota, Florida, where thank goodness we're in the 60s today. Sorry you guys up in Buffalo. Whew, you having a winter. Today, the road to serenity according to Reverend Dore. For far too much of my life I was rather uptight, wound up like a cheap watch. Everything was a big deal to me, and I took most criticism as a personal affront. I was stressed, tense, and somewhat fearful of failure. Oh yes, I could be nice, fun to be around, and generous to a fault, but there was always an edge to me, and people sensed it immediately upon meeting me. Often people would say that they just could not read me, in quotes, which was strange to me since I thought I was an open book. The general summation of me by colleagues and others was that I was very smart, but somewhat difficult to know and to get along with. You'd have to call that rather mixed reviews, wouldn't you? Part of my problem was that I cared too deeply about what people thought of me. Being considered difficult hurt me deeply. I didn't mind the brilliant part, but the rest caused me great distress and confused me since I thought I was a great guy. Serenity just wasn't part of my nature, and I seemed to always be on edge, as if expecting another shoe to drop. I often felt a bit like the hungry cat staring in the window of the fish market, wanting the fish so badly, but not knowing how to get it. Does this sound familiar to anybody out there? I wanted so much to be liked and to be included in the camaraderie and fun of the faculty lounge, but was always the history teacher that really had his kids in the palm of his hand and had them lining up for his classes. But what a jerk! I spent many years trying to change my behavior and began doing things for people in order to be liked. Predictably, that made things worse. What was I doing wrong, and how could I ever be secure enough to be liked and to know peace and serenity? When my life and marriage fell apart, yet again, for the third time, I returned to the faith and philosophy of my childhood, religious science, also known as science of mind. I began to read Ernest Holmes' seminal work, The Science of Mind, and began to remember that I was the author of this horror story, and no outward changes would fix it. I had to take action and take it right away, or face a life of chaos, financial lack, and perpetual bachelorhood. Oh, didn't want that. What did I do? First, I took responsibility for my life, and that was a tough one, and all the drama in it. For years I had blamed it on ex-wives, bad luck, miserable bosses, or people out to get me. The day I looked in the mirror and said, "You are the problem, but you're also the solution," get to work and remember what you were taught in church and at home as a child. You are responsible for your life, but you're not to blame. Now this may seem strange to you because sometimes we conflate responsible and blame. They're not the same thing. Blame has no place in the spiritual world. Stop beating up on yourself. You are responsible, but you didn't do it usually on purpose. Next, rediscover faith in the fact that there is a power for good in this universe and you can use it. The problem was my self-talk and my thinking. Both were cesspools of negativity and judgment. Oh, especially judgment. Everyone was the problem but me. They were all wrong, bad, stupid, or mean. But I was the innocent victim who deserved so much better, I told myself over and over. How could that pretty woman who was so nice when I married her leave me alone and miserable? How could I have so few real friends and almost no family? Perhaps it's because I spent most of my energy dissecting the faults and failures of others and almost no energy on my own. Could it be because I was to be counted on to find fault, give instruction, and unsolicited advice? Oh, people don't like unsolicited advice. I found that out the hard way. The wonder wasn't that I was not liked. It was that I was liked as well as I was. In spite of it all, women found me attractive, and I did have a few people who were really good friends. They must have been saints. Today, I'm very well liked, loved by my dear wife Susan, who I believe to be the finest person I've ever met. She'd loved me for 16 years, a new world record, and shows no sign of canceling my contract. We have a very nice, loving, and abundant life, and I am at peace with all around me. My 3 children and I have a fine relationship, and I'm blessed with 6 grandchildren who are just precious. I finally know what serenity and healthy love of self feels like. Better late than never. Well, what changed? I did. It's that simple. Nothing changes in your life until you do. Your life is a story projected on the screen of your mind, and it is written, directed, and produced by what is planted in your subconscious mind. You plant new thoughts, attitudes, prejudices, judgments, likes, and dislikes with your thinking, your speaking, and your acting each and every day of your life. Your conscious mind, what you say to yourself and others, what you think about on a consistent basis, and the actions you take or fail to take are influenced by what is in your subconscious mind. The answer to a new life? Clean out your basement, your subconscious mind. You do this by changing what you say, think, and choose each and every day of your life. You don't pull the weeds of negativity out. You starve them to death by giving them no thought and no attention. Rather, you plant the flowers of your heart's desires by thinking of good and pleasant things, what Paul called things of good report. Remember, he said, think only on things of good report. He was teaching a very powerful lesson. Think of what you desire in your life. See it as already done. Remember, the master teacher, Jesus, told us, when you pray, pray as if it were already done, because it is. Your Father it's good pleasure to give you what you want, and he knows what you need before you even think of it. And it's true. See it already done, not as something way in the future, but done right here and right now. This way of thinking plants a flower in your subconscious where there was once a weed of doubt, fear, judgment, and anger. You know you are what you think, speak, and do. You aren't your body. You aren't your physical self. You are what you think, speak, and do. It's that simple. But changing your mind is hard work. Aren't you worth it? This is the method I use to go from brilliant but difficult to being loved, liked, and admired by most people around me. Love yourself with humility, and all those around you will take you at your evaluation. That is the great secret of life. Change comes when you change and not a minute before. Until we are together again, walk in the light of God, listen to the voice of the indwelling God, some people call it the Holy Spirit, and think only of that which is good, fine, and healthy. This is Reverend Dore Jacques Patlian saying, bye-bye for now, but before we go, be sure to pick up your copy of my new book, The Death of Religion, The Dawn of Spirituality, A Faith and Philosophy for the 21st Century. It's available on Amazon, in ebook, or in print. Just put my name in the box, and you can search it with one click of a mouse. That's Reverend Dore, D-O-R-E, last name P-A-T-L-I-A-N. And have a wonderful life until we talk again. Bye-bye.